Hello and welcome to another edition of the Baseball Talk Radio Show. I'm your host, Gary Mack, and I'm joined, as usual, by my good friend and great podcaster of Phillies Talk, Fighting Phillies, Mr. Rich Baxter. Rich, how the heck are you this week?
Doing real good. Thank you very much, Gary. And right back to you. Hope everything's going well on this week. We're heading towards the end of the month real quick.
Well, I hope everything is going well this week. We are trying something a little different. We're trying to stream this show. We're not sure whether it is even working or not, but we shall see. I don't seem to see it, but it says we're going, so I don't know. We'll see how this all turns out, but if not, we'll have the recorded version. We'll upload it and get it to you. But I'm not. I'm not too
Confident.
sure that we're confident that we're even on the air. In fact, I don't think we are at all. But
All right. Well,
that's okay.
yeah, we
We gave it a shot, and everything said we were connected, and we
it's
don't
almost
seem to be.
it's almost like the baseball talk negotiations between the players and the owners. It's just seems like a lost cause just in the online world. Yesterday they put this out there. Players angered by state of negotiations, but will meet with MLB for seventh straight day today down there in Jupiter, Florida. And Gary, it looks like we're going to go into a prolonged battle with this one.
Well, it's funny you mentioned the word battle because I think you're right. That's what we're gonna get, but we may be at war by the time these guys try to settle this. So who knows if anybody will be around? What's crazy going on over in the Ukraine and Russia? But uh, yeah, I'm getting to the point where I don't believe anybody anymore, and both sides are ticking me off, and I just can't find the balance that I'm happy with these guys at all,
Yeah.
and it's really a shame
Yeah.
that this is what they're doing to us all, and especially people like myself and like you that have been, fans for how many years, for years and years, and this is the way we get treated. I don't like it at all.
Yeah. And it's both sides. It all comes down to money and other things. I mean, here's my advice to somebody that doesn't like their job, doesn't like their pay. Quit. Move on. You don't want to play baseball for a living. You're making $600,000 a year to start, 575, whatever it is. Pack up, tell them you quit, and go bag groceries somewhere and really feel how it is to earn a living in this day and age in the United States. Go out there, go out and get a job. I mean, that's where I'm at with it now. I'm tired of hearing the players about this money. I'm tired. I'm more tired from the players than I am the owners at this point. And it seems like things are shifting back and forth in the press, blaming the players, blaming ownership. Today, it's all about ownership. And not to me. I think it's on the players now. Get your gloves, get your bats and balls, and go out there and play. And if you don't want to play, then just quit.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's I don't know. It's just something that I can't even fathom anymore. With everything that's going on in the world, and to hear these guys whining about the money, it's ridiculous. But you know that's what happens. I mean, it is the world that we live in now, and this is what they do, and I guess we have to all get used to it.
Yeah, that's for sure. As you said, the world being upset by Russia and its invasion of the Ukraine, and it's sort of like we're stepping back in time. We're reliving history. This has happened before. We've seen actions like this before, and we've seen actions like this in baseball before, and things have been settled previously. But right now, it seems like something that's not going to get settled anytime soon. Baseball fans are going to be the losers for it. And I think the players are just going too far. They're trying too much, too many areas, solving too many things. As we've been saying this since the start of this almost. I remember you saying that, the players are going to try to make up for everything that they lost over the last CBA. And it's just not going to happen. You're going to go in circles and end up ruining the game more. All the pluses that they've done in the last few years are going to be all lost out because you're going to have fans like you and I and millions of other fans that say enough's enough, and they're going to move on. I'm sort of getting to that point right now. I can live without Major League Baseball, and I'm sure you can too.
Yeah, I mean, we've done it. We did it in the pandemic, and of course it hurts this aspect of our lives because we do both do podcasts on baseball, and but it's just it's the business side of it that gets to you, and nobody, I don't understand what's happening. That nobody sees anything anymore in power. I mean, we have a way to stop these Russians by, if we started drilling and again, and tell the environmentalists to go sit on a pole somewhere, preferably one sticking up long. But besides that, and the players here, you're making a boatload of money. You're coming off a pandemic year. You played 60 games. You're coming off another year where, the seats were limited in the beginning. We know that the owners lost money. So why try to get everything back in this contract when the game was hurt substantially, and I think, and this is both for both sides now. They both think in the short term and not the long term. That's the problem. They have no long term cure for anything that ails this game. They all want to get rich now. Manfred is a money guy. He has no clue to the history of the game, what the game means to people, and the passion of the game. He has no idea. He has no passion for the game, and therefore has no passion for these negotiations. His job is to make the owners richer, and he's very good at that. But he's killing the golden goose, looking down the long term down the road, and you can't fix it by, we'll fix it by, we'll do this for kids, and we'll get draft people, and we'll get involved with the betting. No, that's just money making. That's all it is. That's not helping the game. It's not helping the history of the game. It's not helping the future of the game. And that's what's so annoying about the whole thing.
Yeah, and if you read some of the articles online, my favorite is the New York Post, and you read some of the comments underneath of these articles, and this was from today's article, more or less blaming the owners. Here you have a guy named Yankee Forever. Regardless if we're Mets, Phillies, Red Sox, or like me, a Yankee fan, we the fans really have no say in anything but just to kick back and watch these billionaires and millionaires get richer. while we, the fans, buy those tickets every year in and out. And I, for one, has said enough. MLB and Rob Manfred could care less about us, the fans. And I think that's more or less what you just said, Gary.
Hmm.
Another comment here. Problematic AF says, cancel the season. This industry needs a historic reset. The sad fact is that the game has become unwatchable. Add to that the high cost of attending, and you have a dead sport. A new CBA doesn't fix that. It merely ensures that the status quo lives on. So, fans getting quite a bit upset, making some good comments. And meanwhile, we just sit back and watch this folly taking place in front of our eyes.
Because that's where the problem is, Rich. It is nobody cares about the fans. So okay, so if the owners caved in and gave all the money that the players want, they're just going to raise ticket prices, and then they're going to raise the rent on the parking concession guy. And then the parking concession guy is going to raise the rent on us, raise the parking on us. And the same thing with the food concessions. They're going to say, well, you got to charge, they're going to say, you got to pay us more to be off concessionaire. The concessionaires are going to say, okay, well, we'll raise the price of everything. And they're pricing it out of existence. You can't take a family to a basketball game anymore. It's too expensive.
Yeah.
Football games. We talked about that. The Super Bowl, $10,000 for a ticket to the Super Bowl. That's ridiculous. Who's gonna pay that unless you got a family? You don't have that kind of disposable income unless you're a multimillionaire. And it's you go to City Field. It's $25 to park. Why? Why do I
Right.
got to pay $25 to park? They don't park. I can go to the casino and pay nothing for parking, and they park my car for me. I stand there, they bring it back to me. I'm paying $25 here uh, at at City Field. If I get there late, I'm parking a mile and a half away. Uh, and then for what? They're not washing my car. They're not, vacuuming it. They're not doing anything. They don't even park it. You got to park it. They just
Yeah.
point. Hey, go over here. You know, um, that's ridiculous. The food's a different story, but still, I can bring sandwiches and not pay as much as you're gonna pay there. Um, I don't know what people say we'll take public transportation, but some people aren't comfortable taking public transportation. Some people aren't. It's not convenient to go to a ball game and take public transportation. Uh, there's all sorts of different things, and then they're gonna raise that because that union's gonna want more money. So I don't know. I'm very frustrated today with all that's going on, and it just I, the fans always get screwed. Always. We're going to suffer now. The Americans are going to suffer because of this war in Russia and Ukraine. Gas prices are going to go high. Well, they didn't have to. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we were independent of. We didn't need their fuel.
Yeah. Interesting the way things change. MLB announced that the cancellation of spring training games is now up through March 7th. As of today is February 27th, 2022, and tomorrow, of course, the deadline that the MLB itself has placed into effect that if a settlement isn't reached by tomorrow, at some point, that the regular season will now start to be canceled. And it's only fitting for that. It's almost March 1st. So How can you start off on March 31st if you haven't even had any spring training? So
I know.
players crossing and messing with a line in the sand that it's not really a line in the sand. It's just reality. I had to chuckle when I read these articles. Oh, the players haven't agreed to that yet. They don't have to agree to it. It's just simple math. You kind of wonder how smart the players and their representatives are anymore with stupid comments like that. They haven't agreed to it yet. They don't need to. In my eyes, they should be replaced. Start replacing them. See how fast they want to come back and say, oh, well, yeah, I'll take a couple $1 million to play a game. It's getting to that point with me. Even all these game changes and all that, with the changes to the game, that's in the back seat now, sort of. And I wonder if these players are in love with the game, or are they in love with the money that they make from the game?
I think it's the money now. I really do. I, I, I don't think there's any passion for the game. I mean, I'm sure there's some guys that do have a passion for the game, but this is it's interesting what you said though about bringing other players. This is sort of a discussion that was been going on the social media. If you've looked on social media at all, there was the old adage: "Who do you blame, the owners or the players?" And one guy said, "Well, I don't pay my money to go see Steve Cohen, the Mets owner, play shortstop. I go to see the players." And somebody shot back and said, "But without the owners, there'd be no players." And I think you got to go with the players, and I mean the owners in this situation is that they're the ones that put the billions of dollars or the millions of dollars out there. The players, what are they risking, really? If you think about it, I mean, if you got talent, you go out there. Yeah, you're risking your career. You might get hurt or something, but they got no risk really. If
Yeah.
they have a big name contract and all, a big thing, they're not at risk. They're not losing the money and everything. Now the owners aren't losing it now either with the television rights and all of that. But uh, I don't see why they can't just say, okay, well, we're not going to recognize the union anymore. You're gone. We're firing the union and get rid of the union and all its members. And if somebody wants to play, they can play. We'll forgive you and let you play, but we're gonna hold, open tryouts. And is it gonna diminish the quality of the game? Yeah, but then let the Major League Baseball Players Association go and start up a league. Go
Yeah.
negotiate for stadium contracts. Go get 30 stadiums. In the first place, if the owner owns a stadium, he's not going to give him a stadium. So where are you going to play? You know what I mean? I don't know who owns the park in Philly. If it's the city, they might negotiate. But like San Francisco, he owns the park, I think,
Yeah.
or he put a lot of money into. Yeah, he self financed that. So go. Where else are you gonna play? You gonna go back to Candlestick Park? I thought they think they tore that down. You going to Kezar Stadium? I think they tore that down. So where are you gonna play, on the local playground? I mean, this is the thing. Go start a league then. If you think you can do better.
Yeah. Well,
I
I think we've reached our eyebrows up to this point with the hearing about the negotiations, the lack of um, agreement between both sides. So we'll just have to hope that it's settled sometime, kick the season off around June, maybe. Who knows? Just like 2019 when we weren't sure if there would be a season. But before we get too far into the show, you had mentioned to me that you'd like to thank a couple podcast friends of ours and personal friend of yours, Gary, with the Baseball and Barbecue podcast. They said some good things about us, and we want to return the favor.
Well, they gave us a very nice shout out, the boys at Baseball and Barbecue, and they do a terrific job, Len and Jeff, every week. And they mention us, we mention them, and it goes back and forth. But they do a good job, and they cover two great topics, baseball and barbecue, and they do a great job covering both. So, urge you to look for their podcast, Baseball and BBQ. It's really terrific. I think last week's episode that was, well, the one that just came out yesterday. I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, but I think it's all might be all barbecue.
Yeah, yeah, which is, getting into the season soon as we start getting warmer. Can't wait, get some stuff on the grill and, start living the good life again, barbecuing. But back to baseball. And thanks, Len and Jeff, for your support of our show. Back to baseball. The Red Sox with releasing a minor leaguer after some hateful tweets that he put out. I don't know if you read anything on this, Gary.
Mm-mm.
I really didn't. And a third rounder from 2017 apparently let out a series of racist tweets, according to multiple reports. 25 years old, um, saying in one tweet, quote, "I am a racist. I do sometimes make assumptions based on other person's race, ethnicity, culture. Glad that is out of the way." Now, it seems like somebody hijacked his account to me, because why would anybody go out there and try to ruin himself by saying something like that, even if it were true?
Maybe he's just had enough. Who knows? I don't know. It does seem a little strange, but
And sometimes I don't know if you've ever
he's
experienced, but somebody would grab somebody's phone. That's all you need, is to grab their phone, have
yeah.
access to those things, and start tweeting these things out. I don't know if we've heard the last of this story. Just seems a little bit strange that all of a sudden um, somebody would tweet this uh, out of the blue, so to speak. A guy that's been playing baseball for a few years. So,
Well, he
I,
hasn't denied it yet, though.
yeah, well, maybe nobody's covering that aspect of the story, but
Maybe.
this story I think is going to go on a little bit further. So we'll
Yeah,
we'll have to.
we'll see. Maybe he thought if he said, maybe he wanted to get out of his contract. Who knows?
Yeah, it
And he
doesn't.
thought this was a way of doing it. I don't know. I could think of better ways
Yeah,
than to do this. But well,
yeah.
you know, if he did say it and he did do it, and you'd have to say he's honest at least, and sticking by his principles. It's one thing. You don't have to agree with him. You could totally disregard what he says, but he does have a right to say the things he said. Even they're disgusting and stupid. But
Yeah,
apparently, we're not allowed to have any different thoughts anymore. So, you
that's
know,
a good
and he
way
hit
to
them
get
all.
out of your job.
Well, and he hit them all. I mean, he didn't. He's a racist, a homophobe, anti-Semite. He got it all. To use a baseball pun, he's got all the bases covered there.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
if it's
who
true.
knows? Maybe he just wanted to get out of the organization, and
Yeah. So I had this thought occur to me when I was thinking about my opening statements of a baseball player that doesn't want to play anymore, and get a new job, quit, just say, I'm done with it.
There you
I
go.
figured it'd be fun for us to pick a few guys and see what their uh, off-season job, or if they quit baseball, what would they be suited to do? So
Okay.
let's take a couple names from the baseball world here, and throw some thoughts around on what they would do. I'll pick some random names here, current players, hopefully. Let's go with let's see here. I'm looking at a lot of retired players right now, and let's pick a team. Let's pick Freddie Freeman from the Atlanta Braves. What would he do if he wasn't an all-star first baseman for the Atlanta Braves?
See, I could see Freddie Freeman being like a construction guy.
Exactly, just what I was thinking. A carpenter, or
Carpenter, yeah, yeah, woodwork. He's got that kind of look. I think he would be okay. He wouldn't have any problems in life.
yeah, that's cool. So we got the sharing on that one. We really picked that one out of the hat really quick. But let's pick someone else here. Different player. I'm going to go out to the West Coast, and I'm going to pick one of the best players on the San Diego Padres, Fernando Tatis Jr. What would he be if he just suddenly said, I quit to Major League Baseball? And
Well, he'd be stupid with that contract.
beyond stupid,
What
of
would
course.
he be?
And let's keep in mind he's a young guy here. He's you know 23 years old this season for 2022, so he's pretty young. Um,
I see him as some kind of entrepreneur, some kind of maybe a producer of rap music or hip hop with the hair. You know, he's got the look, but he would definitely be an entrepreneur. Um,
Maybe a real estate salesman, maybe something like that.
I don't know. I don't think. I think that's a little slow for him, but I could see him being in some kind of busy activities.
All right, cool, cool. Well, we got a couple under the belt so far. Let's go for one more. Let's go over to the American League, and I'm going to select somebody here that's well known to everyone that follows baseball. And last year he didn't. He had some injuries. He got married. He had a lot of things happening with his life. Mr. Mike Trout of the Angels. What would he be if he wasn't one of the best baseball players around? The 9-time All Star, 2-time All Star MVP. Look at all those accolades that he's already uh, undertaken here in
Yeah.
baseball.
I see him as a working on a fishing boat. You know, like uh, like the king crab guys and Deadliest Catch or something like that. I could see him doing that. Maybe even a captain of a boat. That's what I see for Mike Trout.
Yeah, very cool. I'm thinking, tradesman, electrician,
Yeah, I could
builder,
see that.
another guy that might have that builder in him.
Yeah.
Um,
But he's a
Pickup
big
truck.
fisherman, doesn't he? Like to fish? Doesn't he love?
I think so. Yeah, yeah. This would be
Yeah.
his 12th year as an MLB player. Had a real injury prone year last year. Only hit um, 8 home runs and 18 RBIs. It's kind of unlike him. He had that off
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. Well, and we played 36 games, so that's the least games he's played in his career. And
Yeah.
you got to almost start to worry about that. Is he breaking down? Um, is this the way it's going to be now with him or what? But I take him.
You'll still take him on the Mets, that's
I
for
would
sure.
take a chance. I would take a chance. Yeah, just tell him, look, don't run into the walls as much, and
Yeah.
you know,
Slow
he
down.
did the year before. He played in 53 games, but that was a 60 game season, right?
Yeah.
2020. That was the short season, so he had a relatively injury free year. He did play in a lot of games in his career, and um, you have to worry a little bit about him breaking down at age 30. But I mean, like you said, you hate to see him curtailed too much because he's definitely got Hall of Fame numbers there.
Yeah, and the projections for this year are 20 home runs and a sparse 51 RBI. So that's what they take from last year's sabbatical that he took. And 30 years old all of a sudden. So he's starting to climb that ladder a little bit, as we all are. But interesting that, what would these players be if they weren't MLB players? So,
Hard to
hope,
believe too that he's 30, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. Hope you
Wow.
enjoyed that segment of the show. And as I said, we're just going to do a short show this week because there's not that much going on, Gary. We can't talk about the
Yeah.
great spring training games that would be on just about now. I think they were supposed to start right about now.
Yeah.
And, we don't have it. So, um, we normally would talk about our listeners this time, but I think we'll even postpone that till next week.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we could mention the fact that if you'd like to contact the show, you can write us at Gary at baseballtalkradio.com or Rich at baseballtalkradio.com. So that the email you could send us, or you could like to donate. You can help us out by going to anchor.fm/ baseball talk radio show, and they'll tell you how right there on that page how to give a little donation. Or we have a Patreon page, patreon.com/baseball talk. So anything you could give would be greatly appreciated.
Yes, indeed. Just go right over to our anchor page, anchor.fm/baseball talk radio show, as Gary mentioned. And right there in the center, if you're watching us on the YouTube version, you got the support button. You just hit it, click it, and there you got your choices: 99 cents, $4.99, or $9.99 a month. We would appreciate anything that comes our way. So it's very easy, secure. Stripe, I believe, the company that processes those payments, very secure, ultra secure. So don't worry about it. Stop on by and sponsor our page and what we do here on the internet. And Gary, I'm looking forward to next week's show. I'm hoping we can report that, there was a settlement of some sort with this.
Well, I'm hoping we're all around next week to have a show. So, yeah, I hope there's a settlement and we can get going finally with this, and end all of this nonsense that's going on, and maybe we'll figure out streaming by then, Rich.
Yeah, we're constantly trying to upgrade the show, improve it, things like that. So look forward to it, and check out our YouTube page, like our Facebook page. Just search for the Baseball Talk Radio Show podcast. You'll find it. If you can't find it, give us an email, and stay safe out there, because we still have what's left of this pandemic still with us. Still a lot of infections out there. So wash those hands, wear the mask if you want, and stay safe, everyone.